Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome on into the Neutral Zone on Hockey Sports Radio, your direct feed for all sports. Tonight, we got lots of things going on. We got a recap of the World Juniors. We got lots of games tonight, 10 different games going on. We have an attendance record in the new Professional Women's Hockey League, as well as a Stanley Cup reference in college football. We'll break it down, and lots more coming up next on the Neutral Zone. So don't get checked into the boards, protect your 5-hole. Let's get ready to light the light. Good evening, everyone, and welcome on into the Neutral Zone on Hockey Sports Radio, your direct feed for all sports. Good evening, everyone, and welcome on into Good evening, everyone, and welcome on into the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Zach Puplis. Adam Karnick will be along shortly. Lots to get into tonight. We're excited to have you with us. If you're following along on Spreaker, you can join in the chat room. Hop on in the chat room and join us. Taryn and Jen are already there, looks like. So we're going to go ahead and recap some games going on right now. The Kraken and the Sabres are playing their in the second period at the end of the second. Kraken leads that 5-2. Sharks and Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs are up 4-1. End of the third. Okay, so that's the end of the game, basically. Kings and Lightning. Kings are up 2-0 at the end of 2. Canucks and Islanders. Canucks lead that 3-1 in the second. Panthers and Blues are tied at 1 at the end of the first. Taryn, your Ducks are up on the Preds 3-0 at the end of 1. Jen, your Blue Jackets are down 0-1 to the Jets right now at the end of 1. And the Oilers and the Blackhawks are tied 1-1 in the first. Still to come tonight, tipping off in the next couple minutes, we got Senators and Flames and Bruins and Coyotes. Oh, hey, Coyotes are still over 500. We'll take it. So we'll keep you updated on the action throughout the night tonight. In the meantime, we want to go ahead and get our housekeeping out of the way and thank our sponsor here, Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, it's low in sugar and high in protein. Some of the best jerky you can get your hands on. Once again, we're going to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. A little bit about us here at the channel. For the last almost 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel, to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure you follow us on at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with our shows. Also, check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com, for sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog, our Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month pages dedicated to each podcast, our IE Sports Radio community forum, and stop by the shop and check out all the merch. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. Also, if you want to follow along with the show or Adam or myself on Twitter, we're also there. The show at IESR Neutral Zone, Adam at Adam_Karnick, and myself at The Pupless. All right, so lots to get into from last week. The fledgling Professional Women's Hockey League has set an attendance record already for women's ice hockey. It took place in St. Paul, Minnesota, just over the weekend. The Professional Women's Hockey League game between Minnesota and Montreal on Saturday set an attendance record for the most people who've watched a Professional Women's Ice Hockey League event, with 13,316 people. That was at Xcel Energy Center, the league set. The record crowd, which came 5 days after the Professional Women's Hockey League held its first game, easily outnumbered the 8,318 fans Tuesday who watched the clash between Montreal and host Ottawa in the inaugural game for both clubs. Quote, living in the state of hockey, I knew our fans would show up for us, but today they have taken it to a whole new level, Minnesota general manager and former U.S. national team player Natalie Darwitz said. I've enjoyed numerous amazing hockey experiences in Minnesota over my career, and experiencing today and the record crowd was emotional and ranks near the top of the list, end quote. Grace Zoomwinkle scored her first hat trick in league history, and Maddie Rooney earned the shutout as Minnesota blanked Montreal 3-0 at the home of the NHL's Minnesota Wild. Zoomwinkle, who scored a goal in the season opener in Boston, is from Excelsior, Minnesota, and played her collegiate hockey at the University of Minnesota. Rooney, from Duluth, Minnesota, played collegiately at the University of Minnesota Duluth before winning a gold medal in goal for the United States at the 2018 Olympic Games. So both local products. Montreal pushed and set the pace for the game early and had 3 power plays without committing a penalty through the first 2 periods, outshooting Minnesota 21-12, but trailed 1-0 to start the third. Zoomwinkle backhanded a shot past Anne-Renee Desbiens with 2:39 left in the first period, beating the 2022 gold medalist for Canada to her stick side. After a scoreless second period, Zoomwinkle skated to the top of the slot, rocketed past Desbiens at the 1:47 mark of the third, and added an empty netter at 17:13 of the period. Montreal did not get a shot on goal through the first 11 minutes of the third period. Desbiens finished with 19 saves on 21 shots. Rooney stopped all 24 Montreal shots on goal. The Professional Women's Hockey League, which features 3 teams in the United States and 3 in Canada, is the latest bid to create a sustainable business model around women's hockey after previous leagues failed to deliver. Prior to the Professional Women's Hockey League season, the Swedish Women's Hockey League Championship game for the 21-22 season held the professional women's ice hockey record with a crowd of 7,765. So this practically doubles it. That's awesome. Yeah, 13,000. Yeah. That's awesome. The previous North American record for regular season professional women's hockey game was 5,938, set during a 2016 game in the now defunct Canadian Women's Hockey League. Up next, Montreal will play at New York, and Minnesota plays host to Toronto on Wednesday. So, there you go. So congrats to the Professional Women's Hockey League on a first of many, I'm sure, records. All right, the last couple weeks, Adam and I have been talking about the World Juniors. We do have some recaps of that for you. Let's see. I think where we left off was, let's see, USA beat Latvia in the quarters 7-2. Slovakia then beat Finland Finland beat Slovakia 4-3 in overtime. Sweden beat Switzerland 3-2 in overtime, and Czech Republic beat Canada 3-2. Okay, so that was the quarters. Semis got you down to 4 teams. USA beating Finland 3-2, and Sweden beating Czech Republic 5-2. So then the championship game was set with the USA facing off against Sweden. USA took that game 6-2. Okay, and in terms of scoring, let's see if that's quite a high scoring game even. All right, Gabe Peralt's got a goal for the U.S. in the first. Otto Sternberg got a goal for Sweden in the second to tie it up. Isaac Howard then got 2 more consecutive goals within like 5 minutes of ice time to get the U.S. a 3-1 lead. And then Sweden in the second period, just before it ended, on the power play, he cut the lead to 2-3 on a goal by Jonathan Lekkerimäki. He was assisted by future Red Wing Axel Sandin-Pellikka and Noah Ostlund. So they go to the third. USA is up 4-2 on a goal by Zeev Buium. He was assisted by Will Smith and Gabe Peralt. Then the U.S. just pours it on, makes it 5-2 behind a goal from Ryan Leonard. The Swedes then pull their goalie, and the U.S. gets an empty netter to win the game 6-2. That empty netter came from Rutger McGrotrey. Wow, looks like they still had quite a bit of time until the end. But yeah. Final score, USA 6, Sweden 2. USA. In the bronze medal match, we had Czech Republic beating Finland 8-5. I'll have to pick Adam's brain more when he gets back. See what he says. See what he experienced with these games. Yes. But let's take one more look around the league here. Kraken are still up on the Sabres, 5-2. That is in the third period, about halfway through. Maple Leafs are up on the Sharks, 7-1, with 13 minutes left to go in the third. Kings are up on the Lightning, 2-0, and it's about 10 and a half minutes to go in the third. Canucks are up on the Islanders, 4-1 at the end of 2. Panthers are up on the Blues, 2-1. They broke that tie. That's in the second. Darren, your Ducks are up 4-0 on the Preds. Awesome. That's in the second period as well. Just a couple minutes into that period. Jen, your Blue Jackets are down to the Jets 2-0 right now. Hopefully they can get something going here in the second period. Adams Blackhawks are tied with Oilers 1-1 at the end of one. And Senators and Flames have started now. Senators are down 1-0. Or Senators are up 1-0 over the Flames, I'm sorry. And Bruins and Coyotes tied 0-0. And the first period just started that one a couple minutes ago. Taryn, let's see who your goals came from tonight. We've got 4 so far. So Strom, Vetrano, McTavish, and Terry. McTavish, let's see here. Mason McTavish out of Ontario. Vetrano, he's a right winger. Frank Vetrano, he's out of Massachusetts. Let's see who else here. Is it Ryan Strom, I think? Well, there's Troy Terry out of Colorado. There he is. I think it's Ryan Strom, isn't it? Yeah. He's from Mississauga, Ontario. So, yeah, we'll come back and update you on the rest of the games coming up later tonight. Looks like Adam's back. How you doing, sir?
Well, I'm here. We're gonna start that way. How about that?
Okay.
Between work and weather and kids, as I got home and it's like there's no way I'm starting this show on time. It's just not possible. Zach, go!
Woo!
Woohoo! You did it. I wanted to comment. I loved you. You were leading off with the Professional Women's Hockey League there to start things off. The 13,000 plus in attendance included my brother-in-law and my niece.
Hey, awesome!
So they had an awesome time in that. Leave it to Minnesota to get the biggest women's attendance for a hockey game. That is
right.
No surprise to me there, but they had an awesome time at that game. Lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff. The pictures they shared of it, it seemed like it was a really well done all the way around by everybody. I'm trying to get as we go here. I'm trying to get my pictures pulled up from them real quick just to kind of go through it a little bit. But they
in the
had
state of hockey.
Oh, absolutely. In the big time state of hockey. But I mean, you look around and there's very few empty seats. They pretty much, I mean, the only empty seats were pretty much in the upper deck behind one of the goals. It was very well attended. Nice. Very, very, very well attended there
awesome.
at the game. So it was good stuff all around from that one. I heard you talk about the World Juniors. Did you bring up the brouhaha between Sweden and the United States?
I did not. I wanted to. Yeah, I was hoping to wait for you on that one. See, get your take on all the comings and goings of what went on.
Yeah, it was. That was kind of interesting. They apparently decided that it wasn't entirely going to be decided on the ice. There were some good brawls at the end there. Sweden was not exactly thrilled with the way that game ended.
Not going away quietly, huh?
No. There was definitely there was definitely some stuff going on there at the end.
Well, yeah, I'm going through. Yeah, exactly. I'm going through the box score, and I'm like, okay, U.S. got the empty netter with like 4 minutes left to go. That should be the end of the game, right? Nope. 2-minute penalty for U.S. 2-minute penalty for U.S. 10-minute penalty for U.S. 10-minute penalty for U.S. 2-minute penalty for Sweden. 10-minute penalty for Sweden. 2-minute penalty for Sweden. 10-minute penalty for Sweden. Goalkeeper out. End of period.
Yep. I mean, with basically half a minute left to go, was Sweden just decided, let's do something here. Anton Johansson got the fighting started with Lane Hudson, and off it went from there, and there they went.
Right. Oh my gosh. Hey, so all of this occurred with less than a minute, almost less than 30 seconds left in the entire game.
Oh yeah, it was 30 seconds left to go in the game. How
do you enforce a 2-minute penalty and a 10-minute penalty when there's only 30 seconds left?
You run out the clock. you run out the clock.
I mean, that almost sounds like college with the targeting. And it happened in the second half of that game, so you have to spend half of next week's game out.
Yep, except I mean there wasn't even a next week's game because that was
the end.
that was the tournament. So
right.
So we'll get you. So some background for those in the chat room. The way we set up the show, Zach wasn't able to see the chat room, so I'll get him caught up on the chats now a little bit. Thank you guys. Taryn wants to know if he should be worried about his Kings. They've been doing some more losing than normal lately. What do you think, Zach? Should he be worried about the LA Kings as they come into play tonight? Now they are winning tonight right now, right? They hadn't.
They're up 2-1 on the Lightning right now. Yes.
So the goalieless Lightning, the Lightning, and just not being able. Yeah. Well, it's amazing what happens when you take one of the best goalies in the world off a team, and suddenly they come crashing down to earth.
Right. The Kings. Let me take a look here. Oh gosh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive losses prior to tonight. Well, most of them have been close. 3-2 against Vegas, 3-2 in a shootout versus Edmonton, 3-0 versus Toronto, 4-3 versus my Red Wings in a shootout, and 4-3 to the Caps. All those losses say, red alert, but
yeah.
But they're all close though, minus the Toronto one. So I mean, they haven't given up anyways.
They're close, but some of that's also just the nature of hockey, where it's, hey, you're not going to lose a ton of games by 4 or 5 goals. And also here's one thing for them to not be concerned. That shootout loss to Detroit has the most unfair advantage in the history of hockey in a shootout. You know that, right?
I don't. Please elaborate.
Patrick Kane.
Oh, duh.
Patrick Kane is just you do not want to go against Patrick Kane in a shootout, and sure enough, Patrick Kane won it in the shootout for the Wings in that game. So,
oh my gosh.
so I never want to hear those Red Wings announcers complaining about a shootout ever again.
Right. I didn't realize we had the king of shootouts on our team now.
Yes, you now have the cheat code for shootout. It's Patrick Kane and TJ Oshie.
Nice.
Are the universal cheat codes for shootouts, but
well, there you go. That explains the next one. Even though it wasn't a shootout, they had TJ Oshie.
exactly. So there's that going on there. But yeah, you take a look at some of these, and the one against the Capitals, they had the lead in the third period and let it escape. They gave up the winner with under a minute to go against the Capitals. But against the Red Wings, it was the opposite. They were trailing late in the third and got the goal to tie it. So, like you said, they are showing some resiliency. They are being in it, but there is a little bit of cause for concern. If they hold on here against the Lightning, it would be their first victory of the calendar year, and we're 9 days and 4 games in. So, little bit of concern there for the Kings. Let's see what else here. Jen was somewhat ecstatic that the Blue Jackets were only down a goal against Winnipeg, because Winnipeg, they like to score and they're quite good at it. They're the biggest goal differential in the division, and they're the second biggest goal differential in all of the NHL right now, only behind Vancouver. Which have we figured out where in the heck Vancouver came from?
I don't know what the recipe is for this year, but yeah, they're. Ooh.
I'm assigning myself homework for this week. I need to figure out why in the world Vancouver is good this year. And Jen now points out, it is now 3-0 Jets. So,
yep.
So it is, it is going the other direction, unfortunately, for Columbus.
Oh, and it's 2-2 Kings and Lightning now too.
Oh. Apparently we're bad luck. So what we're gonna do instead is we are going to take ourselves a quick little break, and then when we come back, we will bounce around some more around the hockey world. There were All-Stars named this past weekend, and I got very excited about one of them, only for him to celebrate by getting his jaw broken. So we'll talk about the All-Stars here on the flip side. You have tuned yourself into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back after this.
All right. Welcome to AZ Sports Daily. I'm your host, Kiernan Daly, bringing the heat to Arizona sports. There's no discrimination here. We're going to talk about every sports team, professional and college. The show is all about you, the listener. I'm here to entertain you. Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here? It's going to be fun, high energy. You may not agree with what I say. That's okay. Let me hear you. Let's talk about it. Join me every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on AZ Sports Daily. That's AZ Sports, Daily, and at IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always willing to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Lay down music,
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com, part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you looking for a sports show that maybe isn't 100% about sports?
Then you might want to check out the Sports Couple Perspectives right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Most sports shows cover only scores and stats, and while we're not opposed to that, we dig a little deeper into sports issues and some of the hottest topics in athletics.
In addition to sports, we take a journey through my neck of the woods, pulp culture, with movie reviews of both sports and non-sports films.
Speaking of pop culture, make sure to participate in our game nights, where we quiz each other on our specialties, and you, the listeners, can win IE Sports Radio apparel.
We always have a great time learning more about each other's worlds, one show at a time.
So join us each week on the Sports Couple Perspectives, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, it's your boy, the SoCal Saint, the host of the premier professional wrestling podcast online today, the IE Elite Wrestling Show. If you're a fan and have a passion for the world of professional wrestling, this is the show for you. I take you inside the ropes with all the athleticism, high-flying, and hard-hitting action, and then we take it backstage with all the backstage drama and backstabbing that goes on in the world of professional wrestling today. If something's going on in the world of professional wrestling, rest assured, the SoCal Saint knows what's going on, and he's going to let you know too. If you're a fan, check us out every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on IE Sports Radio. The IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling, on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports. Check us out.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas, right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'm reminding you to tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for the latest in Carolina sports, whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers, or the amazing atmosphere of any Carolina college. I'm talking App State, I'm talking ECU. I've got you covered. Once again, tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone, everybody. Adam Karnick, Zach Puplis along with you here tonight. And as always, we are presented, of course, by Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. So, we discussed right before the break, I brought up that the All-Star teams were announced this past week. One big one, of course, that was near and dear to me, the player that has been the number one rookie across the NHL to this point, got in to represent my Blackhawks, of course, one Connor Bedard. And then, of course, he decided to celebrate by going to New Jersey. All right, that's forgivable, I suppose, because that's how the schedule happened to work out. But we all know that New Jersey can be a very dangerous and rough place. And then he got his jaw broken in the middle of the game. What the heck? It's honestly, it's bad enough for the Blackhawks. They've been the walking wounded all season. Zach, I don't know if you saw this the other night. The Blackhawks actually had to put out on their power play unit, they had to put 2 defensive men out there because they literally ran out of forwards to have out there. They only had 7 healthy forwards. So even though they were on the power play, they had to have 2 defensive men out there just because that's all they had. But yeah, bodies, somebody, but at least Bedard, was healthy, but now even Bedard is down. So very, very disappointing that way. But it's still very exciting overall. You've got the 32 players. Let's go through the list real quickly here and props and hearty congratulations to all of the gentlemen that have been named to the NHL All-Star roster. Frank Vetrano from Anaheim, Clayton Keller from Arizona, David Pasternak from Boston, Rasmus Dahlin from Buffalo, Elias Lindholm from Calgary, Sebastian Aho representing the Carolina Hurricanes, Connor Bedard to represent the Chicago Blackhawks, Nathan McKinnon representing the Avalanche, Boone Jenner, who also has a broken jaw, is representing the Blue Jackets. Jake Ottinger is representing Dallas. Alex DeBrincat representing your Red Wings. Connor McDavid, what a huge shock. Connor McDavid is representing Edmonton. Sam Reinhart, Florida. Cam Talbot for the Kings. Kirill Kaprizov from Minnesota. Nick Suzuki from Montreal. Philip Forsberg from Nashville. Jack Hughes from New Jersey. Matthew Barzal from the Islanders. Igor Shesterkin representing the Rangers. Brady Tkachuk from Ottawa. Travis Konecny from... I always say that one wrong. From Philly, Sidney Crosby from Pittsburgh, Thomas Hurdle, representing the San Jose Sharks because someone has to. It's a legal obligation. Oliver Borkstrand from Seattle, Robert Thomas from St. Louis, Nikita Kucherov from the Lightning, Austin Matthews, once again, huge shock, from Toronto, Quinn Hughes from Vancouver, Jack Eichel for the Golden Knights, Tom Wilson from Washington, and Connor Hellebuck from the Winnipeg Jets. There is your 32-team All-Star roster. A lot of first-timers on the list. I'm counting it up real quick here. You've got 8 first-timers. A quarter of the roster is making their All-Star game debut this year. So, and then you add in some of the guys who are only making their second time, like DeBrincat or Talbot, Philip Forsberg, Igor Shesterkin, Kanenshi from Philly, Hurdle from San Jose, Quinn Hughes, Tom Wilson. So a lot of guys, the first and second year times there, a lot of new names, a lot of new blood overall in this All-Star weekend. So a lot of young, a lot of new names on the roster. Well, yeah, it is it's a little bit different of an event this year. It's now a 3-day event, and they've revamped it. So let's kind of dive through that a little bit. They are going to still divvy up into teams from this roster, and then divide themselves out and play. There will be they're gonna pair off into captains, and they're gonna select the teams from there. They're gonna have celebrities, and celebrities will get paired with captains, and then they will select. They're gonna pick 4 teams of 11, which will be 9 skaters, 2 goalies for the NHL All-Star game. There's going to be an NHL Alumni Association Man of the Year tribute. The Professional Women's Hockey League is also going to make an appearance. They're going to have a 3-on-3 game in Toronto for the event. So then the skills competition is going to be February 2nd. The NHL says that's going to have a new look this year. 12 NHL All-Stars competing for points in 8 different events. The All-Star who accumulates the most points takes home a prize of $1 million US. Each player will compete in 4 of the first 6 events. The events are the Fastenal NHL Fastest Skater, the Rogers NHL Hardest Shot, the Upper Deck NHL Stick Handling, NHL One-Timers, NHL Passing Challenge, and the Cheetos NHL Accuracy Shooting. So you pick, not quite, One-Timers and the Passing Challenge. Apparently they couldn't find anybody for that. Larry, that means there's spots open, Larry. Quick. Let's get word out there to the NHL, Larry. There's time yet for the NHL Passing Challenge to be presented by IE Sports Radio. The top 8 point earners will advance to the 7th event, the Honda NHL Shootout, where each player will choose which goalie they shoot against. Boy, that sounds like it could spark something, doesn't it? Yeah, each shooter gets to pick which goalie they shoot against. Boy, how could that possibly end poorly? The top 6 point earners in the shootout will then advance to the final event, the Pepsi NHL Obstacle Course. And apparently that is apparently also presented by Family Feud because the point totals are doubled. I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure why they decided to double the points, but why not? So, and then there is a Hyundai NHL Fan Fair, the official fan festival of the All-Star Weekend. You can get tickets just to that. That is on Thursday. And then they'll split up and actually play the either 3 or 4 games then on February 3rd is how they will close the All-Star festivities. So, but yeah, decent. You brought up a decent number of goalies there. We got 1, 2, 3. Looks like 5 by my quick count, though I may be wrong. Shesterkin. That might be it. But still, so one for each team, which obviously makes sense. So yeah, you've got to have some kind of organization when you're doing this, but they are every team is represented. Every team is represented in there, though, with injuries, it'll be interesting to see what happens, to actually get, somebody like, Brooke Jenner or Connor Bedard, since obviously you don't want them actually out there skating with broken jaws. That won't end. That probably won't end well. So we'll see who actually winds up representing those teams. But some good stuff all around from the NHL in anticipation of the All-Star event. Little bit less than a month away from now. Hey, they can be the broken jaw team. Yeah, exactly. It'll be great. I see no problems with this arrangement. This will be fantastic. Boone. Jen's getting us updated though. Boone is skating again. He's wearing the football face mask, but he is skating again, so that's good. That's one of the things I brought up last night when I was talking about Connor Bedard in Chicago. I brought up that of all the parts of your body to break for a hockey player, it's never good to have a broken jaw, but if you're a hockey player, you're like, at least it's my jaw. It's not my wrists, it's not my knees, it's not an ankle, it's not fingers. It's you can once you get over the pain threshold and stabilize it, and you can wear the proper protective equipment. It's not something you use in order to play the game. Except for that whole, watch out, having to yell at your teammates, but, Right, yeah. Eating, who needs solids? Who needs solid foods? Apparently, well, I mean, you ask my son about that, and he'd prefer it. Anytime we try to give him solid foods, he gives us he'll look at it like, "What are you doing?" And then you give it to him, and he's like, "I have made a horrible decision. Why do you do this? Why would you do this?" Absolutely. Let's get caught up on the scores across the board.
Sabres went final. Kraken won that 5-2. Maple Leafs and Sharks final. Maple Leafs won that 7-1. Oh no, we jinxed the Kings.
Oh no. Oh no.
They lost. Sorry, Taryn. They lost 3-2 in overtime. Oh.
You know, that is one thing real quick before we get too much further away from the Kings. You know, they are getting points for this at least.
True.
You know, they are at least, you know, they got a point tonight. They got a point against the Red Wings. They got a point earlier in that losing streak. I forget what the other team was, but they
another shootout.
Yeah, another shootout. So they are at least getting a point for all these losses.
Yeah, true. Silver lining.
Yeah, it's a small one, I grant you, but
yeah. Looks like Canucks might hold on over the Islanders 4-2 with 3 minutes and more, a little bit more left in the third. Panthers are up on the Blues 2-1 at the end of 2. Ducks are up 4-0 at the end of 2. Blue Jackets are still trailing to the Jets. Sorry, Jen. 3-0, end of 2. Adam, your Blackhawks are trailing the Oilers 2-1 in the second.
Oh, it's only 2-1. All right.
Hey, right? They haven't hit their video game numbers yet.
Somehow. Oh my gosh,
right.
the Blackhawks have all of 9 shots and they're over halfway through the game. Ugh.
Oh gosh. Who's got the goal?
Of course it's not going to give me the scoreboard. Dickinson for the Blackhawks had the goal. The Blackhawks, they actually led 1-0 briefly in this one.
Nice. Senators and Flames. Senators are up 2-1 in the first. And Bruins and Coyotes. Bruins are up 1-0 at the end of 1. Oh, sad howl for the Coyotes.
And the Maple Leafs with the touchdown against the Sharks.
Right. The DJ Sharks.
Jeez. Boom, boom, boom.
Speaking of football, real quick, I have a football reference that ties into hockey.
Yes, you teased that there was some kind of somehow the Stanley Cup made an appearance in the college football playoff.
I saved this one to tell you while you were here. So not last night's game, Michigan and Washington, but the week before, Michigan and Alabama in the Rose Bowl. So when the Big Ten team wins the Big Ten title to go to the Rose Bowl, they'll hand out roses to all their players. Well, the Michigan quarterback decided, because he grew up playing hockey, I guess, he decided it was going to be like the Stanley Cup and in the conference trophies, Prince of Wales, Charles Campbell, etc., whatever. He says, well, I'm not going to touch the rose until after we win it. So they interviewed him after the game when they had won, and he was telling the reporter that, I feel so good I can finally touch the rose because we actually won it. And
he's an Illinois boy, don't you know, from downstate Illinois.
Oh, there you go. Well, I mean, for how they've done the last 2 years, they'd get to the playoff and they'd lose. So I guess I can't blame him for getting superstitious.
Yep. A little superstition never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
So the Stanley Cup making an appearance into the college football playoff. See, soon everybody's going to understand hockey.
It's going to tie into everything. Yay.
And then the Mounties will start crossing the border. and other strange events. But that is a story for another time.
Right.
That is going to do it for our show here this evening. Once again, a big thank you to our sponsor, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Check them out at planetjerky.net. They're still offering free shipping on all orders of $50 or more. Get yourself the free shipping. You will enjoy the jerky. Whatever your taste buds, you'll find something that you like. PlanetJerky.net. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. The jerky that's on a whole other planet. Thank you to Larry B, the czar and overlord of all things IE Sports Radio, for hanging out and for making all this possible for us. Also for hanging out in the chat room with us a little bit tonight. Thank you to Taryn Rodriguez and Jen B as well for being in the chat room with us. Finally, thank you for being here and listening to the two of us yuck it up for an hour or however long it is I actually was in the show tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing us your support. We really, really do appreciate it. Zach, can you believe that the NHL season is halfway over?
Ooh, yeah, that's hard to believe. Oh my gosh.
We gotta start getting actually serious about this now. What the heck?
Well, I looked at the games left for the Kings, though, and it still seems like you get a ton of them.
Oh, yeah. But next week, we will, of course, be keeping you up to date on everything going around in the NHL. Who's trending up, who's trending down. Just how in the hell is Vancouver being good? And is Anaheim going to be good, or is Anaheim going to be bad? Can they make up their minds? We will try to figure out the West Coast, the Pacific Division, as best we can. We'll also continue to keep an eye on the Professional Women's Hockey League. Let you know everything that's going on there. And oh yeah, there's college hockey too. I suppose Wisconsin, Minnesota, and the Dakotas are probably just destroying everyone. We'll let you know how all that is going as well. Tune in same time next week. Until then, he's Zach, I am Adam. Be safe. We'll see you next time. And we are down.